for. Good forward, but I don't know. Their forward line, they play with one up front, and it's just not working because he needs to hold it up, and the players need to come at him. It's sort of like in futsal, when a target has the ball, you need the players to come off you. They're not really running off him, so it's not really working at the moment. But once it clicks, hopefully it works.
Also, tonight on the broadcast, don't throw any questions at me, like about these two teams, because I don't know it all.
Don't worry, mate. I've got you covered.
Beautiful. If you know, though, I'm happy to ask you.
They've
to prompt you on all this.
52 times. Magic have won 23. St Albans 16. 13 draws.
Beautiful.
Magic did a clean sweep last year.
Yeah.
2024, they shared the spoils. 2023, Magic romped them in 2 games. 9-2 was the aggregate.
Wow.
So,
I reckon for the opening, say, 10 minutes, we'll talk about that. Like, I'll ask you the questions.
Yep.
And we unpack it that way.
Yeah. Talk about even the average points they need to not get relegated. It's been 19 to 20 points over the last couple of years.
What do you reckon their ambition is as a club, though? Like,
For both? Survival.
Really, that's it, huh?
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's just so hard. You look at
You're going to go down again, like Pascoe Vale. Oh, Jesus. They're state 2, aren't they? State 1, wow. Forget it. Yeah, right. To come back over there. Well, it was 0-0, yeah? Yeah, because that's where Mick went. Yeah. They made a few signings. They signed a few people. They signed Mark and Sheik from Pew.
I think for that league, that's enough. Once they come up again,
They'll struggle.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
It was crazy last year. Oh, mate, good old Paisley Park. The train going through it. What's there not to love about coming in?
Yeah, I'll move my ball. So I'm just trying to get behind Adam so I don't get in your way. I watch the game more. It's only on replays where I'll have a quick look, but just in case we've missed something, someone's decided to do something silly off the ball, you can replay it to them.
Rossi was at the club for years. I'm surprised he left. He was their captain, everything too. There's Lloyd, not playing. Spew. Cameron Watson and the Altona Magic's coach name. I always... Goran Lozanovsky. I always say Markovsky. That's not. Goran Lozarovsky. Yep. Lozarovsky.
Lozanovsky.
Yeah.
Anovski.
Lozanovsky. Lozanovsky. Cool. Cameron Watson. What, third season in charge at Altona? Yeah, sounds about right.
Well, it's a good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 4 of the Senol NPL Men's Victoria match between the hosts Altona Magic and the visiting Albans Saints. Coming to you live from Paisley Park Soccer Complex. My name is Alex Sivkaroskimi, and joining me in the commentary box is Adam Palombi. Welcome, Adam.
Good to be here on this windy night, Alex. Two sides in desperate need of 3 points early on in the season.
Well, it's a big game for both of these sides. Much needed points for the Magic and also Dynamo. Magic on in 10th spot on 1 win and 2 losses. For Dynamo, they're in 13th, 1 draw, 2 losses. So both teams are coming off back-to-back losses here and a desperate need of points if they want to avoid the bottom 3. These two teams have played each other 52 times, Adam, and Magic have won 23, for Dynamo 16, and have had 13 draws in that time. And last season, it was a clean sweep by the Magic, winning both games. Prior to that, in season 2024, they shared the spoils with Magic winning in round 9, 1-0, and Dynamo returning the favour 3-2. In 2023, though, it was a bit of a romping from the Magic. They won 5-1 in round 1, and in round 22, they won 4-1. So the Magic do have the wood over Dynamo, but new season, new beginnings, new hopes, Adam. And could they see Dynamo change their sort of luck of late?
An interesting talking point developing from the Cameron Watson camp of Dynamo. Although Isgrove is in attendance, Lloyd will not feature tonight. Despite being in his technical area, he'll only be watching the game. As we have a quick look at the starting lineup for the visitors, St. Albans Dynamo. Marko Bulic is the goalkeeper. Ajek Dow, Aaron Anderson, Michael Martinovic and Lachlan Weir are across the defensive half with Atushi Inui, Nicholas Koek, Anthony Leban and Joseph Cholina in the midfield. Joshua Galevsky and Michael Platt are the two up front. Intrigued to see how their dynamic shapes out throughout the game, considering they both like to hold up the play. As for Vardar, Christian Rossi resides in the opposite bench these days, which is rather intriguing. Anything can happen in NPL football. And Rossi, although club captain for Altona for a number of years, made the move to Dynamo. He will not feature, obviously, for the hosts tonight. Casey Wendt is in between the sticks. Hiroi Kawaguchi and Lachlan Gillard are fullbacks with Garang Aru and Amain Sordo heart of that defensive partnership. Alexander Gust, Brian Satomo, Julian Rodriguez along the engine room with Owen McCloskey, Oliver Keelant, Daniel Fabrizio and Eric Zhu sprinkled around the attack.
So it'll be Dynamo to get us underway here. Mikael Platt get us underway shortly. It's a bit of a big breeze coming to the right of the screen, so we'll be favouring the Magic in the first half. They'll be hoping to utilise that to their advantage. Time will tell if the Magic can put away a goal. As we have kickoff here, Dynamo playing in their all-white strip, Magic playing in their red and black There's a first chance going. Alexander Gust in the thick of the action there. Dynamo wanting a foul, but the referee says no, it's all clean. So it's a fast-paced start here from Dynamo. They're looking to get on the scoreboard early. The season really hanging by a thread here. 1 point in the opening 3 games. They need a result here today, as much as the Magic also need a result here. So time will tell if either of these sides can put anything in the back of the net. As over the top there, and it's cleared by Lachlan Weir. So Gust just in the pocket here in front of us as the ball goes forward, and it's a foot race here and a chance for Zoo. Coming across is Lachlan Weir, and it'll be a throw deep at left wing there for the Magic. So Alexander Gust coming into play now, looking to throw it long. As we mentioned, you can see by the flags on the corner flag and the flags behind, the Magic symbol there really favouring the Magic. So can the Magic take advantage of it is another question, as Gust goes short. Happy to recycle the ball, but they turn it over to Platt. I need a big game from him today, as in the middle of the park, Chelina look to switch it over to the left-hand side as Weir. So Magic just looking to settle down here at the moment.
Lachlan Weir looking to go down the Paisley Park Pavilion side of the playing surface. Ball not sitting on the deck. Platt was poised for him. Cross. Came the midfielder, determined to win the ball out of Sordo. Chooses away. In fact, it was one of his teammates, Satomo, who earned the foul. Casey went towards broadcaster. He picks out Gust nicely, and Altona have many in this forward foray. They were coming forward in a wave of 5. So Martinovic for St. Albans was able to prevent the ball from going through inside Altona's attacking third. The official might have just gotten away there, but play will resume with Fabrizio. Keelat has the overlapping run of Kawaguchi, who could not manufacture across with a tangible end product. You can see perhaps out of Chelina arguing to the official. In regards to his positioning, was in the thick of it there. Our man in charge today. Martinovic to combine with Koek. Does Martinovic now for Platt. Tussling. Dynamo might have an opportunity. It's not held up by Mikael Platt, showcasing some strength. Inside the area go the visitors. Wentz spills it. Got very awkward for the goalkeeper. He had to scramble back off his line. The original shot was grounded. It went up and over, and that could have been a real costly error early in this match.
Yeah, it was a good shot there by Koek. He just forcing a big save out of Wentz, and good follow up there to ensure that that one didn't go in the back of the net. So strong start here by Dynamo. Looking to whip a ball in. They're going to have to use the wind to their advantage and try to keep it away from Casey Went, ensuring he's not able to get to the ball first. So first real chance of the game going to Dynamo. The cross comes in. Oh, it's hit the crossbar, and it's going to be a goal kick. So just not able to time it with the wind there. And a chance goes begging for the Saints as Altona look to move it along quickly. They switch it out to the right-hand side. Got to be careful with their passes as put into a hot spot there. And eventually it's going to get called back by the referee, Mikael Platt. Not too happy with that one, as he sensed there was a fair challenge. So a bit of a stop-start affair at the moment. Both teams just trying to see who's going to show their cards early. As Garang trying to muster up something here by the Magic. Looking to go long. Goes directly into the middle to Fabrizio. Follows it up again. Good ball over the top now. It's a foot race, but Bulic happy to see that one go into his arms.
Keeper reading the over-the-top pass fluently. Nice interpretation from Bulic. Do goes towards Lachlan Weir, who combines with Chelina. Weir works it back towards centre back. Do and now Martinovic will open things up. Broadcaster side. Relations with Dinamo. Watson wanting to retain possession. Laban to the goalkeeper. His hand gestures calls for patience and calm. Laban works it. You who rolled for Martinovic, who's in search of Platt, the danger man. Playing to his City FC. He's made an arrival in Victoria. To find consistency in Dinamo, the ball was spread towards him from the wing by Laban. Altona struggling to gain possession at the minute. It's the visitors who have built early ascendancy with having possession. This play will halt momentarily. Looking too positive for men on the tarmac at the minute. The ref will investigate his welfare, but I'm sure you might have had a glimpse there of what occurred. Seeming okay, but can't be cramp early on for Adam Zoo.
Yeah, it looks like you're just overstretching there. We'll keep a close eye on that one as Dinamo look to move it along. Martinovic now wanting the ball on the right-hand side, and they chose to ignore him. He had a good passage to run down, but good clean up there, work by the Magic now as they look to go forward. They switch it over to the left-hand side. It's a darting ball now. Opportunity for McCluskey. Plays it to Gust, flicks it into the box, but could have been the first man there, so it'll be another throw here for the Magic. So final third just not linking up at the moment. They're showing they can do the overlapping runs as Gust is really spreading the line and causing a little bit of havoc now. And good block there by Anthony Laban, formerly of Port Melbourne. Is looking to impress his new side. As Gus looking to go short once again. This time McCluskey puts a through ball there. Sordo really sometimes just feel like they need to shoot the ball there, Adam.
Inside the area. Laban trying to find a teammate in a more advanced area. It's typical of the flavour in Altona. Their fans wanting shots from every angle. As discussed last season, who scored from 35 odd yards out across the keeper, lots of power. And a clip that had done the rounds on social media. Language is fruitful, but the result impactful. Gus was urged to shoot. He'd done so and he scored. So perhaps from any area, not inside the area, being the box. Players are encouraged in Vardar colours to let fly. Genuine, creative. Galevsky trying to draw across and takes the deflection on his journey through. Never went out of play. He was kept alive by Gillard. Chelina lost in the game early. Galevsky, edge of the area. Really important, genuine purchase as his shot rolls out of play. Ryan Lozanovsky, always vocal, always outspoken, residing rather comfortably in his technical area at the minute. Deciding to have a chance on goal. Casey Wentz nearly spilled the only disaster sign, if you will. It's been the most potent moment of the match so far. Wanting to go around Keelat. Defence. Dinamo will now have a throw-in. Nice build-up of fans in the pavilion on this typical Melburnian evening. Galevsky. It's controlled into the bubble. Nicely in defence by that of Anderson. Kawaguchi will read it best and go back towards Wendt, but Alex, it's been a real start where Dinamo have had possession but haven't been able to do much with it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see Mikael Platt is dropping deep to receive the ball, but then he's got to make a gut-busting run to go forward, so probably just need Gillespie to step up a little bit. We can see at the moment now, Inu is filling that gap, but there's a chance now for the Magic as Gus, as quick as he is, probably won't get there in time, and that'll be a goal kick. So neither side really playing the style of football they want at the moment, probably adjusting to their conditions at this stage. As we mentioned, it's blowing in the favour to the left-hand side, so Magic will get the first half benefits. Whether they're able to gain anything out of that, time will tell as they go short to Ajak Du. Looking to get out of trouble here as Dinamo start to open up on the left-hand side, and Martinovic plays it down the line to Koek. And Martinovic now will bring it in. Liking the new tops of Dinamo, the away strip, very a la 90s Real Madrid style. And it's a free kick given away there, so a chance for the Magic to get back into defensive duties as Aaron Anderson, formerly of Preston, helping out the defence of Dinamo this season as trying to go forward as the wind starts to pick up a little bit more. Cut off there by Kawaguchi. Fabrizio linking up nicely here. The Magic now, can they push forward? It's a good run from Sordo. Looking to cut back to Fabrizio. He fancies himself. Good save by Bullish there. Got down low. And that was a good chance there. No one followed up, but good work from Marco Bullic.
Good move from the Magic to register their first attempt on goal. Bullic was agile to make the save, although perhaps listening all the way down there as another shot's taken on. Not afraid to shoot on the Magic. Perhaps the message that we've been describing from commentary as being can't be heard from here, considering we're nearly 30 feet off the ground. But well, it's in the minds of the players. And Fabrizio, who's now the club captain, has that responsibility to lead by example, but also contribute on the score sheet where he can in attack. Martinovic trying to find Trelina. Ball just ricochet between both sides. The band's been lively early. Calm things down. Dinamo happy to play through the press of Altona, which allows for a potential counter-attack to arise. Gilard's positioning prevented any incisive runs from Inui being tracked, but the official has called things back. Dinamo to now attack. Weir directing traffic, works it back to his keeper. Village for Anderson. Martinovic really stepping high up the pitch. His full-back position. Shalina. Anderson. Kalevsky's lurks very far to your left. His arm raised, but the orange boots of Kalevsky was acknowledged. Keelat. Sets it up. It's rather awkward for Altona, but well controlled by Gust. Maru lofted it towards the fullback's direction. Keelat tried to latch on. Du puts a foot in. Seen the game's start to open up for both sides.
Yeah, a lot better from the Magic over the last couple of minutes, starting to move the ball a lot faster, trying to catch out the Dinamo defence, but again, it's that final third that's letting him down. There's a nice little flick on there, opportunity now for Zoo. Gives it away cheaply for Koek, as good work there from Gus, wins it back for the Magic, so another chance here. Got to really make sure that at least try to force another save out of Bullock. He's only had one so far, 2 shots on goals by the Magic. With the win, you've really got to be better than that. Sweeping ball into the middle, but Gilevsky now looks to make a run down. Gets around one marker, goes out wide to his compatriot in Platt. Overlapping run here from Laban. Cross comes in, didn't beat the first man, Gilevsky. Cleared that time from Aru. Cleaned up from behind was Eric Zhu, and it'll be a free kick to the Magic centre circle as Fabrizio looking to quickly move things along, but Joseph Chelina just trying to slow down the play, allow his defence to get back into shape. Playing almost 15 minutes so far, best chance going to the Magic. As Gillard, another ball over the top, so just haven't been able to time that ball over the top as yet. Just got to wind it back a little bit. Wind is taking a lot further than what they're expecting.
Relatively slow start to this contest in all transparency. Feels as if both sides are looking to be opportunistic upon a mistake. No side really taking the game by the sword at the minute. Plenty of NPL football. The men's competition this evening across the state. Dandy Thunder hosting Avondale FC. Tomorrow has its own delights in store, with Preston hosting Heidelberg, Melbourne City hosting the Oakland Cannons. Chelina has been rather cheeky in stifling Altona offensively. Hasn't been able to pick the passes of his liking early on. Martinovic's throw. Well controlled. Ban, although. We saw something he didn't like. Starting to accumulate more free kicks as the game continues. Soon a heavy press. Chelina. Sort of working off the ball. It's well done from Martinovic to advance. Now Lachlan Weir finds shape from his left boot with the cross towards Platt. Headed away by Gillard. Martinovic breaks the lines. Laban. Do. Awaiting the movement. Platt came short, had the strength to withhold Gillard. Towards Mikael Platt. In the crossing position, Timber arriving in the area. Weir dancing around Fabrizio. Platt. Can they find the cross now? Dinamo. Anderson. Towards Du. Chelina. First time touch was nice. Altona settling behind the ball is Gilevsky. Martinovic. Chelina. Magic really sitting off the visitors, which has allowed for Dinamo to advance further forward in unison. The barn for Weir. Anderson. Chelina working left and right. Cameron Watson's side. Anderson. Chelina going incisive. Labar. It opens up for Galevsky. Platt arriving at the back posts. Cross won't reach either Platt or Kowick at the near post. It was a poor delivery from Galevsky. Casey Wentz can readjust Altona's focus.
Yeah, just need a little bit more curl there. Galevsky, right idea, but unfortunately a bit too straight, and Casey was able to bring the ball back in comfortably there. And Magic, though, through that passage of play, just weren't able to slow down Dinamore. So Cam Watson just maybe encouraging his side to keep at it with that pace and style of football at the moment. Hasn't really shown much in the opening 20-odd minutes or so. There's the Magic now. Really got to keep the ball up at this end and keep the pressure on the Dinamore defence. So they've only got 1 point from their opening 3 games. They know that each point they lose puts them closer and closer to relegation battle. And this season, as we know, it's getting harder and harder to get the amount of points you need. As good work from Gust. Managed to get around both markers. Getting a little bit of a piggyback ride there, and the referee eventually brings it back as Nicholas Kowick. I think he knew what he was doing in that instance. It's a poor ball there from Gust. Really puts his team under the pump there. Good work by Gillard as up and under clearance from Anderson. And just not able to get it under control. So both teams just struggling at the moment. Good block there by Eric Zhu. Another chance here for Dinamore to get out. So they're getting out of their defensive half slowly but surely as Platt. Good ball in the middle of the park now as Laban looks to move it out wide. Offside flag is raised by the assistant referee. It was a good ball, but Galevsky probably should have done better there. He was on the right side. Could have seen where his marker was, but unfortunately not able to time his run as Wentz now looking to try to get out of defence here. So the front 4 of Dinamore just slowing things down a little bit at the moment. As the Seagulls are even struggling to fly to the right. There's another ball over the top. Zhu. Oh, it's flicked on now. Magic. Can they find an open gap? Puts it out wide. Kawaguchi, low ball into the box. Cleared by Dinamore. Fair challenge there, says the referee. It comes back the other way. Galevsky now, this time is onside. Has Peters and Kowick. Goes to Peters. Shot comes in. Oh. Looked good off the boot, but Casey went there. Was pretty happy with that as he watches that one go wide.
This game's had the tendency to really open up for both sides. Then a flick of a switch. Altona at the other end. Looking to test Bullich upon the counter-attack. Dinamore surged forward. Galevsky. It was a 3-on-4 situation for those in white. That's effort just wide of Wentz post. These sides aren't looking to play cautiously. Find tenacity, a spring in their step as Keelat found room to shoot. Shot was charged down by Laban. Inu fed by Gillard. He will be spoken to by the official. There was no love lost between these two sides in season 2025. A red card dished out in both contests. Altona were the victors of, as mentioned by Sivka before kickoff. Cameron Watson getting his playing group on the bench to go warm up. Altona players have been there for some time, so intrigued to see if they'll be used earlier than expected. Gusts, always adventurous fullback, although he's gone a fair way from his natural position. That was infiltrating that space. Zoo came across. Gusts winning the ball. And Altona looking to go over the top, and a foot race will ensue between Anderson, who's holding the shirt of Owen McCloskey. And that's sprung Goran Lozanovsky into life. He's up off the plastic white chair, on his feet, having a chat to the official. Sordo. They resumes with Chelina. Platt. Chelina looking to switch diagonally. Galevsky. Dinamo's turn to attack. Laban. Inu has Weir on the far side. Galevsky picks out Lachlan Weir. Cross comes in, shape on it. Inu was at the front posts. Acrobatic clearance was the idea from Sordo. Well, Ejekdu went right into the back of Eric Zhu, and this contest is finding some spice and life finally.
Yeah, probably a silly challenge to make. It wasn't required as the medic is patiently waiting to assist his player. He's got back on his feet. He gives us a thumbs up, so it's a positive sign there. So neither side really taking advantage of the other. You'd think Magic with the wind would be favouring them, and they'll try to put some pressure on the Dinamo defence, but at the moment they've only had 2 shots on goal and 1 was on target. As Martinovic now gets it, goes back to Anderson. Good ball here as Chelina looking to make his way through, but having to recycle the ball again. Weir. Laban. Looking for options. Wants to go over the top. It's flicked on by Koek. Nicely done. Finds Martinovic. Overlapping run. Eventually Martinovic will get it. Gets around his marker. And it's going to go in the way of Magic there. So Cam Watson just scratching his head and asking the 4th official, was that a foul for us or for them? But just making sure that he understands where it went wrong as Casey comes over to bring us back into play. As we played almost 27 minutes here at Paisley Park, it's still 0-0. Going direct down the line. Good foot race to the end, but Ejekdu happy to see that one go over the line deep near the corner flag. As Martinovic looks to bring it back into play. Just not able to get it under control as Callard gives away a foul. So stop-start football at the moment. Neither side really showing us their true potential at the moment. As Ejekdu sends Eric Zhu the wrong way. Good ball in the middle. Laban now. Platt linking up nicely out wide to Galevsky. Magic having numbers behind the ball now. Kawaguchi goes back to Wendt, who made sure he clears it first time, but again, just a tad too long there for their forwards.
Keeps keeper. Wendt sending long. Well, it's controlled, and Dinamo resume. Martinovic getting creative and tussling. Still going the fullback. He's unrelenting in his pursuit of retaining possession, which Dinamo eventually do. Weir had some life on his left flank, advancing. Kawaguchi trying to do the same. Had no support from those around him. Galevsky. Laban. shifting it wide. Nice ball for Koek. Gus reads it best. His pass not so much the same. Martinovic, Dinamo back in possession. Henderson receives from Martinovic. Aimless in the end from the centre back. St Albans with the intent to try test the keeper of Casey Wentz, but nothing really doing at the moment. They haven't been able to generate the interplay to get the ball within a shooting position. Altona's turn to now have some possession. Gillard short for Keelart. Slide from the number 3 was effective. Sordo goes down following. Coming together with Ajak Du. We're now having a tussle. The officials had to hold players. They used to get well acquainted. And Paisley Park is turning into out of an Altona McDonald's car park. There's always spice in these encounters. Casey Wentz come a long way to get in the middle of it. And to an extent, transparently, Alex Sivkarowski, this game needed something, needed an edge. Both sides were very attentive in their approach early on. Would this be the ignition?
Could very be, Adam, but I think Ajak Du might be in trouble here because he lifted Sordo off the ground, so it'll be interesting to see what the officials have to say. Having a chat to his assistant on the far side to see whether he's seen anything, but surely there'll be a caution here, and Ajak Du is called to him. We'll see what the card is. It's a yellow card for both, so Ajak Du going into the books.
You notice Du just pointing towards that of Sordo to almost signify that, well, this isn't over. I'll see you out there. You have to love the Senol NPL competitions. Lots of history, lots of moments in time, and lots of passion. The way players go about their business. Firm combatants, they want to win, they have a competitive edge. Cannot fault both sets of players, especially Dowand and of his counterpart, Sordo. And Zoo initially for that ferociousness.
Hopefully that's sparked a little bit of a fire underneath both these teams now. We can see probably some attacking style football, as it's going to be a throw for Dinamo right in front of that pavilion where the home fans sit. Quick throw in. Anu looking to get out of trouble. Gilevsky lays it to Platt. One back now. Dinamo look to go forward. Platt, good turn. And it's a silly foul to give. Probably a little bit far outside the box, but we do have another Magic player down and is calling for the medic. Just trying to see who it is. Could have been an off-the-ball incident there, but nevertheless, it's a Dinamo who have the free kick. They are really in a good position. The wind is against them, so they're going to have to come up with something that they've practiced in the training park. I don't think they'll be testing Casey Went in goals. Is probably a little bit too far for them. What do you think, Adam? Do you go for it, or do you reckon a set play?
An absolute prime position for Gilevsky to pick out a teammate on the edge of the area, or go for a broke by shooting as Gilevsky goes over the wall. Wentz has to palm away. The barn has to be clean in possession. As the Magic spring into life off the ball. Koek and Gust come together. A must-win ball Would have been for Alex Gust, and the counter-attack was there if he got around Coack. But the beauty of Paisley Park, the boxes are so big, they're so wide. And the crossing position for Galevsky from where the foul was called, almost prime real estate. At the other end, Zoo, not around Martinovic. Clearance was under haste. Altona have awakened in their attacking third. Gust for Fabrizio. Got creative, the captain. Gust, it bounces off him. McCloskey wins possession. Not around Martinovic. Goes back in towards the danger. His clearance not as far as Fabrizio. He wants to go short to Zoo inside the area. Bulic had the ball at his feet, and Dinamo now will look to try to ignite themselves in midfield. Galevsky. Labat. Over the top. Louis. Inside the area. Gillard confronts the playmaker, Weir. Delicious ball in towards Platt. Had some shape on it from Weir. The danger not averted completely yet from an Altona perspective. Fabrizio. Vardar's turn to attack. End-to-end football, Paisley Park, right at the moment. Sordo trying to dance around. Out of Do, and they're still rather well acquainted. You're going to see that bubble throughout the night. Both players on a card following their coming together.
Yeah, a bit of a wasted position there by the Magic. Though looked good up until right again, that final third. As Anderson going wide to Martinovic. Looks to play Galevsky down the line. Galevsky switching flanks, trying to mix things up. Good work by Anu, flicks it on. Laban. Oh, sorry, Chelina looking for Platt. Platt will get there in the end. They can recycle the ball here, Dinamo. Platt now has 2 to beat. Plays the percentages. Good ball in the middle of the park now. Galevsky patiently waiting for it. They can recycle it once again. No one really on the right-hand side overlapping is Anderson. Galevsky. Martinovic. Oh, just stepping on the ball there was Chelina, but he gets back up. Magic get numbers behind the ball. As Ajak do now. We're offered, but was ignored. Anderson eventually goes. Good ball over the top. Just nothing really on for Dinamo in their front third. They have to just continue to recycle the ball here. Anderson. Martinovic goes over the top. Zaru plays the percentages and it'll be a throw. As Gus now able to bring it back into play. So Magic have all men on the pitch. Aaron Lozanovsky just trying to get the message across to his Chargers. Only got under 10 minutes left to go here. Let's utilise it to our advantage. Shouts of handball there, but Laban keeps going forward. They have numbers behind the ball for the Magic. Martinovic. Now stretching that time was Chelina. Platt out to Martinovic. Good ball over the top. At the back, it's Galevsky. Great save. Probably should have put his foot through it. But Josh Galevsky there, just placing it. Good work by Wendt.
Well, Platt was certainly close to Wendt as the keeper up and over the top, but meanwhile, Chelina was high upon Sordo. The bench is starting to find voice. looks towards Chelina to say, I've had a chunk of my head there. It was Zoo. These conversations might go silent on the officials' ears. He's had a spring in his step to claim the ball, having made the initial save. Levski's shot, it was placed rather than hit with power. Didn't will have that cutting nature in attack to generate real opportunities, which could lead to goals. Just not testing the keeper adequately enough. Gusts chests the ball, not to his advantage. Kowick shrugs off Sorda. Martinovic. What can they manufacture here, Dinamo? Cross comes in along the tarmac. Easy pickings. Aruta clear. Galevski. Getting incisive. Inui, edge of the area. Barnes sideboards ball towards Martinovic. Platt was in the centre. Chelina! Straight into the mid-grip of the keeper, as mentioned by those below us on the Dinamo bench. Dinamo away faithful in the pavilion, finding some voice, but really assumed once it's set up for Chelina, the keeper have a more difficult effort to contain.
Yeah, another good move there by the Magic. By Dinamo. Despite being against the wind, they've had more clean-cut chances than the Magic, so that's something Goran Loznovski would not be happy with, as Kowick that time was looking to play in Platt, but not on the same page. Labat. There's going to be a yellow card to Alexander Gust. Not sure if that was as much in that one, just having a look at the replay here. I think Gust was first to the ball, so maybe just selling it a little bit there was Martinovic. Has a quick laugh with opposing coach Goran Loznovski there, so it's going to be a free kick here for Dinamo. Lockie Weir tasked with trying to find a target. Weir, high ball. Wynn just takes the pace off it, and a good grab there from Casey Wett as he quickly releases the ball, and again Dinamo happy to clear it out for a throw. So just a little bit more patience there from the Magic. When they're in possession, they need to ensure that they're not wasting it. They go back to where it came from, as Casey went now. Has to go back to Aru. Back to Wen. Got to be careful as Mikhail Platt chasing him down. They've turned it over. It's an open goal here. Man just held it up. Inu. Martinovic looks to have recovered from that injury. Gillespie. Quick 1-2 with Platt. Platt now. Little dink over the top. No one there. You can hear Cam Watson screaming at his charges, going turn and run as another cross comes into the box. It's Platt! And he gets the opening goal. It was a beautiful ball in, and Mikhail Platt with a diving header puts it on the bottom left-hand corner to give Dinamo the lead.
Initially, the Dinamo move looked to be fading. Gillespie had so much time possession following the first attacking scenario. He rolled for Platt. His cross went over the heads of everybody inside the box. But once the ball was flung back in towards the number 9, he showcased exactly why that number is on his back. Placement upon the header. Went was diving, but almost didn't have to, considering the placement Far too perfect. Cameron Watson was at one stage looking to get his message across in haste. Had the frown turned to a smile very quickly. Now Dynamo on the cusp of half-time have turned the result their way. They lead by a goal. Although there are 3 minutes of stoppage time left. It's opening 45. Able to play out as Altona from the kickoff, having conceded and trying to get busy.
You need a chair? Thank you.
Hasn't been the prettiest game of football in all truth, but prettiest moment arriving for the visitors. Late in the first half. Gillard. Kawaguchi. Keelas hasn't really ignited yet in this contest. Has the creativity in abundance. Satomo hasn't really had much to do either. Gilevsky. Possession, and Platt was happy to calm it down. Chelina. Laban. Gilevsky, that's better from Dynamo. Yun was hoping for a better first touch. Enabled for Altona to start from that any potential counter. Fabrizio coming deep to get his boots on the ball. It's all over the top. Routine for Magic do. Tinovic will settle for a deep defensive throw-in. Kowick. Together comes last off. The Dynamo player was very creative. Sordo, who still has possession. Stumbling upon taking the cross. Do went the no-nonsense. It's a helicopter up and back. Down to the ground, the ball goes. Sue and Chelina through legs at the in-dispute ball, although Bulic will just take some seconds off the clock. There's no better time in football to score than on the cusp of half-time.
Yeah, that's got to sting. That's got to really sting the Magic. I probably would have been happy to go into the half-time break at 0-0, but unfortunately for them, they conceded. It was a brilliant goal as Platt once again getting involved. As Gillespie. Platt now happy to take it as far as he can. Dynamo now just happy to hold on to the half-time whistle in his round 4 Senol NPL Victoria match. Maybe it's a good thing, Adam. Maybe the Magic prefer to go into the break down. Last couple of weeks they've been up at the halftime break, and unfortunately they've lost the game. So could this be an omen? We hope for the Magic it is, but they can't afford to really drop as the referee blows the halftime whistle here at Paisley Park. It's the visitors leading 1-0 thanks to a goal from Mikael Platt on the 43rd minute to give them the lead. It's a pretty difficult first 45 minutes as neither side really showed what they're capable of. It was a scrappy affair, but Dynamo will be happy with the result. We'll be back after this. Don't go away. There's plenty of football still left to come. Grab yourself a hot drink and snacks. We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah, they are beautiful. Yeah, you're a bit quiet too.
A bit loud, or?
Well, you're. I think it's your tone as well, a bit like you're quite down, like you're like that. But I might have a look at that piece before to see if we can get it going.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Try.
Because then we can do them individually, can't we? Someone screaming tonight.
The problem is, have you got a power bank?
Yeah, I can sort that. Let's see. I mean, if it interferes, we'll have to feel at least we've given it a go. Oh, there we go. That'll be. Hello, Brad. Oh. Hello, Brad. Hello, mate. I'm good. How's things? Yeah. Oh, you can hear that now. Do you want me to bring that right down then? There we go.
What do you make of this sort of?
Oh, can you? Right, okay. Give me a second.
Well, let me know if I'm doing too much or cutting
go back to where we were. It's fine.
Yeah,
Let's do what we were doing before. The problem is I can't monitor it properly because it's still on the.
Yeah, pretty much. Do you reckon that's a good idea?
This will need to go in.
Yeah. That was mine. That's good. Splitter. That was good time this one. That's alright. Thursday night. It's meant to be a short one. It's not going a lot longer. Need of rest. Alright, let's try. Phenomenal man, I did on too. Alright.
So let's, how do you want to say? Start talking?
Yeah, I reckon we'll commentate over play for let's say 2-3 minute chunks. I'm not really informal. We'll ask each other a very easy to answer about the game question, which is. The game underway for the second half at Paisley Park. The Magic trail by a goal courtesy of Mikael Platt, who scored for Dinamo late in the opening 45 minutes. Goran Lozanovsky resorting to his bench, making two attacking-minded changes involving both out of flanker Jeffrey Lino and midfielder Gavin Tasevsky. Casey Wendt was caught into dealing with some real unorthodox passage of play, which culminated in an effort on his goal. We've had a quick start this second half. Adam Polobin, Alex Sivkarovsky reporting from the gantry here in Altona. Sivka, Lozanovsky resorting to the bench early in this match, and at the halfway
has indeed.
Has brought on two new changes.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what Jeffrey Lino can do here. So maybe he's just not happy with the amount of pressure they put on Marko Bulic. So time will tell whether this substitution pays off, but they really needed to get off to a good start here, as Dinamo now have control of the game, and they'll be happy to slow it down. They'll prefer to play the stop-start football. It suits them well, and Cam Watson knows the importance of these 3 points, and he can't afford to let go of them, so he'll be on to dear life here. But question remains is, can Dinamo really push out from here? Can they get a second or a third goal rather than rely on that sole and only goal so far by Mikael Platt? But it's a big opportunity now for Dinamo. They can get their season back on track, try to get out of that bottom three, as we mentioned. But as Gus now trying to open up the field, but only has one real attacker in front of him in Zoo. And Adam, for you, what would you say Cam Watson would have said to his charges at half-time?
To be a fly on the wall in the Dinamo change room throughout that 15 to 20 minute stoppage of play, and again, all the insight would be invaluable, but I'd assume the message from Cam Watson would have been to keep going the way in which they had the opening 45, perhaps be sharper in their attacking third. They've definitely had lots of moments to infiltrate that of Casey Wendt, who was pedestrian in his pass, and now St Albans have a chance to really penetrate. It was Koek with Platt who combined. Chelina on the edge of the area. It's charged down by Aru. The wind stifling Vardadin, manufacturing a clearance. The ball was continuously going back towards the way it came. From a neutral perspective, humorous, but I'm sure no assumption to be made from an Altona perspective. Calamitous, as Platt was freshly into the back of substitute Jeffrey Lino. Cam Watson would have certainly been talking positively if Dinamo were to find their second from what was a cheap giveaway from Casey Wendt.
Yeah, they're lucky they were let off there. Good save by Wendt. As Gillespie now really getting involved. Platt turns, looking to play it out wide, but no assistance whatsoever. Gets his own ball back as Gus now goes wide, but it's all white shirts at the moment as Magic somehow come away with it through Sordo. Getting manhandled there. The referee still hasn't blown his whistle and eventually decides to blow it, and it's going to be a yellow card there, looks like, to Martinovic. So there's a big opportunity here for the Magic now. They're in a very good position just outside the box. As we said, in the first half, they only tested Bulic twice, whereas Dinamo, against the wind, would tested Casey Wendt at least 3-4 times with one goal. So this is where Magic really need to ensure that they at least get it on target or force a save out of Bulic. There's no signs of the wind slowing down. As the whistle goes, cross comes in, lofts it into the hot spot. It's really no advantage to anyone, really. Getting barreled is Zoo. He's gone down. He gets it into the box, shoots wide, and we've got a player down there. Adam, I'm not sure if you know who that is.
Lachlan Weir went to ground as a very overzealous Eric Zhu wanted to go on a rampage, having one possession back in his attacking third for Altona. Well, judging by how Lachlan Weir has gone about his business in the Senol NPL Victoria competition throughout the years, he's a player who plays with determination. He wouldn't go down for nothing. Perhaps a late elbow may determined Eric Zhu just inadvertently caressing the nose of Lachlan Weir. Not sure if elbow caressing a nose all goes in the same sentence, but well, the striker was keen to keep things moving. Weir is up on his feet. Given we have a much clearer view of the fullback from this position on broadcast side, it appears that there's no claret coming from his face, so all seems to be okay with Weir. Zhu, Satomo, measured. Fabrizio. Sordo is wide. Altona have an opportunity. Sordo's effort on goal was rather tame, and Bullich was able to claim. The captain Fabrizio, Alex, had made a gut-busting run to provide lateral support for Sordo, who was somewhat very casual in his effort on goal.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you there, Adam. As you mentioned, Fabrizio making that gut-busting run. Probably could have maybe another possession as Dinamo going forward. As Aru clears to the line, but it's all white shirts, as in the middle of the park is Chelina. He's really stepped up so far this season. And that time just playing that ball out wide, so Magic now. Looks upfield. Well, we won't repeat what Goran Lozanovsky was saying to Kawaguchi, but I'm sure you could pick that up on the mic there, as it was an interesting conversation between the right back and the coach. I'm sure that will we'll have some conversations thereafter, I'd say, Adam.
Oh, I can't keep composed. That's what you've got to love about Paisley Park. We're so, for those that aren't aware, the gantry is set up right on top of the technical areas, and you can almost hear every conversation which occurs down there in the dugouts. And Lozanovsky certainly was questioning what Kawaguchi was seeing. No filter. Well, he's certainly up against it at the moment. Zasevsky was late upon his opponent. Chelina in the midfield duel and won the foul. Bullich for Anderson. He's had a lot of ball playing duties today, the number 18. For Dinamo, Martinovic has the weight on the pass for Koek. In fact, it rolls along the playing surface and out of play. Gillard, Lino, not working for Tasevsky. Chelina works around three opponents. Tasevsky with a slide, Kawaguchi lofting for Fabrizio. Tries a shoulder nudge on the ball, if you will. Gulevsky works in a confined space. Platt, Gillard had a lot of his shirt. Play will resume. Inu. Shallow cross, and see the number 14 not too impressed with himself. He not found shape on the ball intended for Platt and Koek, who were arriving. Gillard. Koek was late. The official will issue a card for the Dinamo number 14. The Magic at the moment wanted to play out the back, which does invite pressure, but they're looking to, I'd assume, Alex, try to find those in more advanced areas over the top.
Yeah, it hasn't worked for him in the first 45 minutes there, Adam, because up top is Eric Zhu on his own, so they have to play through either the back line or through the middle. We've noticed that Gavin Taseski is on, and Owen McCluskey has come off. So a double change there for the Magic at half-time, but they really need someone to take control of the middle of the game, or middle of the park, sorry, for the Magic if they want to get that ball over the top. It's far too easy for Dinamo if they just go long all the time. They can just get numbers behind the ball and then ensure Fabrizio there absolutely clobbering Anu. He's gone down for the count. I think he's holding the crown jewels there, so that's going to definitely sting a little, especially on a cold night like tonight. He's back on his feet, which is a good promising sign. But it's a yellow card for Fabrizio, so he's been cautioned. Probably unnecessary challenge, as Fabrizio now going into the books. Adam, if you're Cam Watson, you've got a couple of players on the bench. You've got Joseph Monaik and Emmanuel Peters and Jerome Sharon. Do you feel like either one of those could come on and really do some damage to the Magic defence?
Well, you'd hope so from a St Albans perspective, having the fresher legs, although there's an attack for them tonight. Intriguing to how Cam Watson manages the game as it continues. Altona really wanting to play out of their defensive half, which has put a spring in the Dinamo attacker's step. They are looking to latch on to any half-loose pass along their attacking third. Casey Wentz had a fair chunk of work to do tonight. It's ball for Kawaguchi, not measured. Lachlan, the movement from those in white. Leban, Galevsky, important ball to be won. Satsomo had it up and high. Will come right back towards Aru. Worked out for Martinovic. Crosses in. Looking for Platz. Casey went. Had the positional advantage. Tasevsky under immediate pressure. Was fortunate to win the foul. Gillard went short to his keeper. Aru. Casey Wentz. Dinamo settling behind the ball, not allowing for the Magic to get intricate. Gusts along the Paisley Park pavilion. Earns a foul. Considering the amount of cards which are starting to fly from the official's pocket, Alex, you'd almost have an eyebrow raised as to if a red card will ascend upon any of the players. Meanwhile, Kawaguchi, edge of the area, thought about striking. Ball bounced before it was claimed by Bullich.
Yeah, two players to his right, Fabrizio and Lino, and chose to go for a shot himself. Probably not the right decision there, as that one's cut off by Gillard. Gets his own ball back. And Goran Lozanovsky just not happy with his charges at the moment. He wants a little bit more direct rather than trying to play this tappy football that they're currently playing. As Weir throws into middle, Platt finds Laban, and Dinamo now just spreading the field. Martinovic can go wide again. Goes to Koek. Just holding up the play here as Chelina just waited to the last second to release the ball. Shouts of handball, but not sure where they were looking to see that, as nothing we could see from the gantry here. Adam's not really any prettier than the first 45, you could say.
I could. I don't want to, but I could. Both sides really tussling, I suppose. They're trying to be as attentive as possible, yet they don't want to really concede any territory or make a mistake which could prove costly. I'd like to articulate it as. Dinamo, of course, those who've asked more questions, but Altona won't shy away from taking a shot on if in range. It's the real only way we can describe both sides at this moment in time. Platts will remain dangerous in attack. Credit to Cameron Watson. He certainly has imagination, gives his players free roam in the final third. Platt lurking out more towards a flanking area at this stage, hanging off of Kawaguchi. Kalevsky more central. Kowek, almost a false nine, sitting in between both strike partners, as Fabrizio was wanting to lurk onto a pedestrian back pass. Chadawoke and Dinamo off the ball. Intrigued to see, as this game matures, how Goran Lozanovsky utilises his bench. Already the two substitutes to speak of, but Lino and Tasevsky haven't really had much service. Satomo not spinning to advantage. Kalina's bossed the majority of the game from that deep-lying playmaker position. Kowek, Kalina. Laban switches, the official in the way. Weir had a paddock of space to infiltrate. The ball never reached him because the official got in the way. Lachlan Weir is explaining to the man in blue to perhaps make himself smaller, but it's hard to, considering all the play was congested. And amidst its compactness, once Laban was trying to make the switch, the official inadvertently in the way, hence the drop ball. You have to love the NPL.
Yeah, that's why it's the centre of the universe, as they say, Adam. And wouldn't have it any other way, as Gillespie flicking that one on, but Lachlan Weir just decided to run back. So Kawaguchi, after copying that mouthful from his coach, is another shouts of handball. Fabrizio got two to beat. Lovely ball down the line. He finds Lino. Lino now cuts back on his left. Couldn't get the height that he wanted. He gets another chance at it now. Finds Fabrizio. Lovely through ball. Kawaguchi. Not sure who that pass was, but it's to the opposition, and Galevsky flicks it down the line. Inu just got to hold it up. Oh, cleaned up from behind there from Brian Sudamoto. Just a clumsy challenge there, is really not needed. They had Dinamo in their defensive half, and now it just gives them a free chance to get out. In the other games, Adams, South Melbourne lead 1-0 against Bentley. That's in the 38th minute. And Dandenong and Avondale 0-0 in that game as well. So plenty of football still left to go. And hopefully in this one we could see another goal or two. But at the moment it's suiting Dinamo much more that the stop-start football continues. For the Magic though, they really need to get a result in this game. If anything, a draw at least, to keep their hopes of avoiding relegation. And it's going to be called back for a foul. And pose the question to you, Adam, is what does Goran Lozanovski need to do? Does he sacrifice a defender to get an extra midfielder on so he can start trying to break the lines, or does he try to stick with what he's got and hopefully the team can come up with something?
Perhaps later in the game, Lozanovski might resort to throwing men forward as Kawaguchi was a man deployed a bit deeper. On this occasion, Lino combined nicely with Kawaguchi, who's getting deceptive to get his cross away. Clearance was never formally sent by Du. And as the game matures, you feel as if Goran Lozanovski will resort to his bench right now, perhaps keep things the status quo, but when desperation starts to settle in, if the ladder hasn't changed, we'll opt to get creative as it's going to sit in play. For Sordo, who tried the acrobatic, Gast keeping the play alive. Sordo's cross will be blocked, and from nothing, Altona have drawn a corner. Try a bicycle from that position. Back in for try. The playmaker has a corner towards the near post. Cleared away for Fabrizio. Sorda. Challenged down by Weir. The playmaker, same position. Another attempt at a corner. Sorda going short. Kawaguchi will hit it first time.
Looks like it's going to be a substitution here for the Magic. Coming off is number 6, Sudomo, and number 7 is John Mabok. So Goran Lozanovski really hoping that John Mabok, formerly of Melbourne Knights, is able to get his team going and maybe give his team a chance to really get back into this game. They've shown glimpses of it, but unfortunately haven't really been testing Marko Bulic in his second half as Kawaguchi and Lino. They go back to Casey Went in goals. Goes direct upfield looking for Kawaguchi, who flicks it down a line as Ajak Du just slicing that one off the boot. What do you think, Adam? A good substitution there from Goran Lozanovski to bring John Mabok on?
Well, you'd hope so as the game progresses. He'll try and get it, I'm sure, impactful as it's all getting scrambly inside the area. Gust's ball in towards Lino. And it was a substitute of Mabok, who was lively in that passage. The number 7 on his back. Kawaguchi measured inside the area towards Fabrizio. Lino, it will fall towards number 14. Well interpreted by Du. Galevsky. Chelina, professional fouls. Well done by the number 8 of Dinamo. Right, as you mentioned to Alex, he was thrown in the mix of a ball which was never cleared inside his penalty area. This match, in full honesty, has a moment ready to happen. It's going to occur at some stage, but my prediction, if you will, I can fully see a moment where it will be clear-cut, an opportunity on goal for either side. It's simply about if a player in that moment is able to take it. It's been riddled with something's going to happen. We're just not sure what. But it will. I can almost guarantee you there'll be a sliding doors moment which will decide the match's outcome. And it will happen. It's somewhat the delights you experience in Altona, especially on a Saturday night. We've seen it throughout the years where things are to transpire. Stranger things have happened. Gillard and Fabrizio combined. The ball never touching the tarmac. Chelina trying to spin around. A real compact passage of play. Aru for Gust. Lofting for Sordo. Anderson sending back to Casey West.
You're right, Adam. Something will happen. Let's just hope it's a goal, and it's from either side, because this game desperately needs another goal, as looks like Cam Peters has decided to make a change after this play, as it's a foot race now. Oh, good work. Still holds on to it, squares it. Good work that time from Mabok. Just needed someone there on the end of it. And Cam Watson now will make the change with Emmanuel Peters looking to come on. Waiting for the fourth official to eventually put up the board, and it's number 27, Nicholas Koek, will come off. So Emmanuel Peters will look to maybe add more misery to the Magic. As Adam said, we hope the footballing gods can muster up something for us here, as the game desperately needs something to excite the crowd, as Stasevski goes out wide looking for Sordo. And the Magic once again being pegged back deep into the half. It's a lovely darting ball there from Aru. And unfortunately for them, they turn it over quickly as they received it, as Anu now waiting for some assistance. He's got 3 Magic players to beat, and he played the percentages there, Adam. Good work there from the youngster Atsushi Inu.
Peters and Platt trying to combine. Peters with his first taste of the ball at his feet. Provides such a dynamic threat to the Dinamo offensive half. Inu venturing inside the box. Peters. Sordo had to get very creative to form a clearance. Laban, Platt, using his strength, wanting Galevsky. Kawaguchi comes away with possession. Lino. Gillard, deft touch, Tasevski. Aru. Works it for West. Or went rather. Tasevski caught in possession. They're playing with fire. Vardar really want to continue this form of football. Chelina wins possession. Peters in an acre. Can he be found? Screaming for the ball was Emmanuel Peters. Would have been heard from Williamstown. Koek, only tunnel vision to play on his left side. Eventually finds Martinovic on the right. Peters inside the area. His touch will let him down. Laban will continue the move. He spins into the danger. And finally Fabrizio, now for Altona, can try go forward. And is not able to find Sordo upon the time of asking. A frustrating passage for both sides, considering there was some motion to each scenario they had played out. Peters, Alex, had all the space ahead of him.
He did, but I think he was in an offside position, so it was probably a smart play. As Galevsky now to Anu, and they turn it over, and it's just a calamity of errors from both teams, as you mentioned, Adam, and Dinamo win it back to only give it away again, as Good work by Peters now. Just too many red and black shirts in front, but again, good pick up there from Laban. Ball over the top now. Anu started to really be lively in the second half. Gets around his mark and a good ball in, headed away by Gillard. And Fabrizio giving away a foul. Probably not needed there by Daniel Fabrizio. But under 15 minutes left to go here at Paisley Park. And looks like Joseph Chelina has called for the trainer, so a break in play. It's been a scrappy affair, Adam, but it's sort of what we expected from these two sides. We weren't going to expect probably anything more or anything less, but at the moment you can sort of see why they're sort of down in that bottom 5 or 6 teams, as they've haven't really shown us a glimpse of what their true potential is. I mean, I know they've got key players out from both sides, which we'll factor it in, but really tonight it's really been trying to get one goal and hold on to dear life for it, really.
It's been a compact game, has really stifled creativity and fluid football, which both sides have shown in passages they can play. A lot of Dinamo is centred around that of Joseph Chelina, who's been the architect of most of those in White's moves and passages of play. But Altona, in recent years, it's been a real tussle for them to work their way up the table. They've done well to survive in the competition. They've had lots of players of quality come through the revolving door of the club. Of course, you think about Saad Makaucha, lots of creativity. He earned a move overseas recently, of course, that of Buljuach, whose tenure at Heidelberg earned him a move abroad also. It was the golden boot of NPL Victoria in season 2025.
Not sure if he was aiming for the 16th hole there in the golf course behind us, Adam, but he's in the bushes, fairway off the green.
I swear I overheard someone in the Dinamo bench saying they hope that wasn't caught on camera. I'm only quoting those in the technical area, but that's what I had picked up. As Kawaguchi bounces off his head, Gilevsky. Platt does well to find Chelina. Peters inside the area. Dinamo looking for their second as Peters swivels. Has Chelina, who takes a touch onto his left, goes down inside the box. Gilevsky, it props up for him. The cheers will go silent upon the officials' ears. All for it to be a goal kick. Not sure what you make of it, Alex, but well, I don't think Dinamo could have gone as intricate as they had in that passage of play.
Well, look, they probably could have picked up the ball and ran for a try. That's how close they were to the Gord's goal, but it would have been a brave referee to call that a penalty, to say the least. But it's starting to get really dangerous for the Magic. They are really, as you said before, playing with fire. I mean, I know we're cold, but Magic really don't want to continue that type of defensive style they've shown, as that's flicked on as Martinovic clears it for Peters. Really need to see Peters try to utilise his pace. There's a little flick over top now, but Aru going back to Casey Wentz. So we're playing the final 10 minutes here at Paisley Park, and it's Dinamo leading 1-0. That time, Lino playing the percentages as Fabrizio. Oh, lovely work from Fabrizio. Gets around, but just the long legs of Ajak do get in the way. Golevsky there to assist. And Dinamo get out of trouble to send it long. And Cam Peters just making a few tactical changes from his midfielders. I wonder what he's summoned them to do. But really maybe just try to be in sync with one another, not allow Magic to go through the middle as Tasevsky, as all three Dinamo players. He gets it through, but just too slow there from Lino. Do you start to panic at this stage if you're a Magic fan, Adam, or do you still have faith they can get a result out of this game?
Anything's always possible at Paisley Park. It's a fortress for Altona. Anything can still transpire as Kawaguchi gets a 1-2 back from the substitute of Mabok. Ajak Du for Dinamo has had some vital interceptions to make recently, as Cam Watson resorts to his bench, and it will be an attacking change from the Dinamo manager, with the number 10 of Joshua Golevsky having his time called upon the match, and in his place, Joseph Manake enters on the flank. Intriguing, considering Cam Watson will, with that substitution, want and expect another goal from his side. He's certainly playing for it. Platt heads towards the Monek jurisdiction. Kawaguchi's throw right down the line. Mabok wanting to chest on towards Lino. Game nearing its final stages. Mikael Platt's lone goal on the cusp of half-time, the difference maker. Peters goes around to Tasevsky, backtracking. Mabok does well. Fabrizio. Tasevsky. Gust. Altona wanting to move the ball quickly. Stepping inside, Sordo. Bit off more than he could chew. Wentz come a long way. Will have it long. Sits up in the wind. Anderson got his head to it at first. Clearance was necessary from Martinovic. Ball does remain alive. Venturing forward from centre back. It's well done from Aru. Tasevsky. Kawaguchi.
Hello.
Kept alive by Lino. Kawaguchi stumbling upon the ball in support of the foul.
Hello? Hello, you want the fried chicken with butter?
Kawaguchi behind the free kick for Altona Magic. Can they muster up an equalizer from this passage? Kawaguchi's cross towards Fabrizio. Had shape on it. No end product. It's been a case of the match here tonight for both sides. On the counter, lots of space for Dinamo if they can play their cards right. Tasevsky first to it for Altona.
City boy, City boy.
Gillard. Back to his keeper. Wentz. Gust. Desperation starting to settle in. From a Vardar perspective, Kawaguchi hanging high from the fullback area. Inu for Laban. Platt. Dinamo in damage control, not wanting to be too overzealous in their approach offensively. As time becomes a factor, Sivka, here come those in red and black.
They are, and time is of the essence as we got under 5.5 minutes to go, plus stoppage time. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Good ball over the top. But Dinamo have the numbers. It's cleared by Weir. Falls for Aru. They've really just got to go forward at every chance they get. As Cam Watson looking to make another substitution here, so wants to use up as much of the clock as he can. Magic just got to get numbers forward as they go wide to Kawaguchi, and that looked really close that he was within the lines there. The referee might just feel generous, but Cam Watson asking his charges, do you want to come on or do you want to wait for the next position? There's confusion going around about what's happening. Eventually they decide, and looks like number 19 is Jerome Sharon. And it looks like Mikael Platt will be coming off. And looks like a new night is done. So he'll come off as well. So Cam Watson trying to use as much of the clock as he can. Ensures that he secures the 3 points and gives them a chance to get out of that bottom three.
Hello, motherfucker.
Ball dispute, Weir with his head, won it first. Manake will advance. Here comes Dinamo looking to close out the game. The cross, overcooked. The move's still alive for Dinamo. So we try and investigate who precisely has been introduced into the contest.
It's Fletcher McFarlane, I believe. I was trying to look, I had him as number 5, so I might have just changed the last second for us there, as the only player left is Alex Mills and Christian Rossi. So
Laban striding forward. Chance now for Dinamo, who are inside the area, not pulling the trigger. Jerome Charan just wanting to twist around the final defender, but surely there was a sighting on goal. Dinamo earn a corner. If I'm not mistaken, their first of the match. Well, certainly the first of the second half for those in white. The Barnes delivery towards the near post, only Gus there to head away. Chelina. Charan. Manake trying to find a crossing position. Charan with Lino, who chaperones the ball out of play. Wentz for Gillard. Kawaguchi down the line. Flicking in behind for Zhu. Du's been very accurate with his reading of the match today from the centre-back position. The number 2 for Dinamo has been cutting out everything. Manake heads it up and high to Sevsky. Lofts it, Laban. Spins around to Sevsky. Chelina. Works it wide for Charan. There's 2 Altona shirts to get around. Chelina. Not measured for Charan, and it'll allow for one forthcoming Altona passage where it's no assumption they'll want to get the ball forward.
They do, as the fourth official will put up how many of added minutes we'll have left to go, and 6 minutes of added time. So Magic have 6 minutes trying to salvage a draw here. They've got a big game coming up next week against Bentley, their final home game. They've had 3 home games in a row, while for Dinamo they face Melbourne City away. So 3 points here will definitely give them a boost. But it's a big result here for Dinamo. Can Magic try to salvage a draw? As Fabrizio has an overlapping run from Kawaguchi. Just needs to allow for a corner. And it is a corner here for the Magic. Can they get some result here? Kawaguchi needs to get it into the hot spot. Magic will make their change. The cross comes in. Squatted away by Bullich. It's another corner. So another chance here for the Magic. Kawaguchi. Another good ball in. Headed in! Oh! It looked good off the head there as Gillard, but it was just cleared for another corner here. So Magic piling on the pressure here in the final minutes. We've played a minute at a time. Another cross into the hot box. I'm not sure what Casey went. He's gone up as well, Adam. They've thrown everything in the kitchen sink at it. They've just got the kebapi left to go. Can they muster up something here?
There's no goalkeeper in the Altona Magic. Goal square and a real chance might open up for Dinamo. Wentz come such a long way. He risked everything, did the man in pink. Spectacular scenes at Paisley Park. Casey Wentz had gone on a journey and nearly spilt everything in his hands on the way back. There was no one in between the two posts. Rodriguez has been waiting to come on for some time. Sordo has only finally left the playing surface. On comes Julian Rodriguez. Imagine he's to have some say in this contest. Straight off the bench. Casey Wentz will throw it long off his boot. Headed on, Gus trying to latch on. Bodies hitting the tarmac. It was Bullich and Dow who collided. Collateral damage was the goalkeeper. Goran Lozanovsky pleading his case to the fourth official. Alex Goran believed there was no intervention from an Altona player, which had the two Dinamo players sent down.
Totally agree with him there. I can understand his frustrations. It was Ajak Du colliding with his keeper, Adam, so yeah, you can understand the frustrations, but they've got the free kick now. We've played 3 minutes out of the 6, so Dinamo holding on for dear life here as the medic comes out. And Magic now just have to accept that they might not get a result out of this game and turn their attentions to Bentley next week. And it's been a tough night. It's been a tough night for both teams. They really had to deal with the conditions. But the Magic staring down 3 straight losses in a row. And next week's game just gets bigger and bigger in the grand scheme of things, Adam, because they go to 4 in a row. It's not looking good for them.
Not the start of the season. By no stretch of the imagination is wanted. Although it's much needed, this result for Cameron Watson. Drawn in the opening round of the 26 campaign. 2 losses following such, but an away victory Certainly what the doctor would prescribe to remedy Dynamo's slow start to the campaign. There might be some seconds left following this long 6 minutes for anything to happen. The official looking towards his watch. Bulic up on his feet. Manake will watch on as it was Chiran who was trying to get to the keeper. Went goes lateral for Kawaguchi, who ended up in the technical area of Dynamo. Manake has to keep the ball, you'd assume, to prevent anything happening late for Altona. It's sent out of play. Went will have to get the ball rolling immediately if Altona are any chance of something happening late in this clash. Gillard told to drive by Goran Lozanovsky. Kawaguchi lofting long. We are not clearing. Rodriguez around the ball as sent up and high. And out of play. Rodriguez has crossed towards the back post. Not cleared, it's Gusts. And that surely was the moment for Altona to salvage a late point. Gusts up and over, not testing the keeper. Bulic, really, Alex, hasn't had much of a test in this contest, but the volley from Gusts was never going to bother him.
Yeah, it was only in the first half they really tested him. And as we count down the final seconds here in his round 4 Senol NPL Victoria match, Dynamo break their 2-game losing streak. The Magic, unfortunately, go down. They battled hard, but just couldn't get over the line, and they succumbed to their 3rd straight loss in a row. There's a round of applause from the bench for Joey Manake. And Magic just have to send the ball forward. And Dynamo fans on the far side. Whoa, I'm not sure what type of throw that was from Lachlan Weir, but he'll get it back again, just wasting more precious seconds off the clock here. As Cam Watson letting him know to get it all the way to the corner. As headed away, Laban to Sefsky. Sends it forward here, it's one last chance. Bulic comes out. He just swings at it wherever he can. And that'll be enough for Dynamo as they claim all 3 points in this round 4 Senol NPL Victoria match to break their 2-game losing streak. And Magic, unfortunately, just didn't have enough left in the tank.
Come on, Varda.
And for Dynamo, they'll be happy to go back to all the way to St Albans and celebrate this one. It wasn't a pretty win, but as more importantly, they got the 3 points they wanted. And that gets them out of that bottom 3 with a big clash next week against Melbourne City. Thank you to everyone watching at home. We can't thank you enough for supporting the boys on behalf of the team and myself, Alex Sivkorowski and Adam Palombi. Thank you for tuning in. There's still plenty of football to go. 2 other games still live on Football Victoria's YouTube page. Flick over and continue watching. Have a great weekend.